what we've seen is we're at that point where we're seeing a curve, but it's like I have
There's
no
still things trying to lift that curve up to
yeah,
prevent
there
the
there
collapse
there is still
itself.
a floor to
Yeah.
this that I don't believe we're gonna fall through. The question of where that floor is for another time. But what what happens in mass extinctions or market collapses, et cetera, is that the specialist strategy becomes non-viable because the network of relationships in the ecology has been disrupted. What thrives are the strategies of generalists that were only assumed at great cost. Like like to your point, it's like, if you are someone who knows how to nap your own flint and generate your own electricity and grow your own food and you live in Manhattan, that's kind of weird,
It is weird.
But at the same time, Manhattan is one of the food deserts, incredibly dependent on supply chain infrastructure. And basically, there's always that moment in the horror movie where the weirdo conspiracy theorist that everyone thought was
Is
ridiculous
right.
is the guy that everyone relies on for survival. And so it's like the, a healthy system is always going to find the levels at which there are appropriate fractions of the population between these two strategies. And I think we're tilting into, for probably the rest of our foreseeable lives, strategies that are more like we're going to see a relative increase in the capacity of people to engage in lifelong learning and in kind of improvisatory, spontaneous, make do approach to things, the ability to sense patterns, to relate to people. David Weinberg at Harvard Berkman Klein talks about interoperability
Yeah.
in chaotic environments. And so, yeah, like I think that if we think about, well, I'll leave it there.
Okay. So as these systems are developing, possibly inevitable collapse, not sure where the floor may be. How do people then distill systems of value so they know which technologies they want to interact with and which ones would be uplifting for them in their potentials to make them more robust in a world that, say, becomes more chaotic or more fragile as it becomes even more specialized? Where do you see humans having the ability to look to their technology, subsets of it, or themselves and say, this is where I should seek value?
Yeah, so the point that we were just exploring is that the optimization landscape is not actually just a two-dimensional graph, right? That Stuart Kaufman's NK fitness landscape, where
Mhm.
hill climbing to more and more fitness, is actually just a very low-dimensional projection of all of these things that are constantly in flux. And so I think about when I started Future Fossils podcast, which became Humans on the Loop.